controlling transmission.
Greetings from the Matrix, where everything is possible. We are now crossing the Rainbow Bridge.
And Happy New Year from your time traveler. From the future to the past, to the future and back. Ready to go interstellar. So the motto is be the traveler, get out there, change, move, expand. It's up to you. Now, love you all. Time travel with Dr. Ra in an antique place that's thousands of years old. It used to be called, wie hieß Umstadt früher? Wie hieß das?
Stadt und Outmundi-Stadt.
Outmundi was the name of this place. Now, Großumstadt. And you see behind me the antique building. It's like a movie set. This is actually, believe it or not, where I was born. Where the seed of the Ra was conceived into the world. I just wanted to share that with you. Going through old family patterns and memories and feeling at peace with my past. These back roads. Amazing, amazing. And I'm at peace. Ultimate peace. Which I also wish for you in the 2018. Peace. The flip side. Greetings, starseeds. So in a calm manner, we want to bring to you a few things what the new year has to offer. Reporting from Hessen, Germany, near Frankfurt. Traveling the world. As a child, I used to play here to seek tranquil and silence from the ruckus of the world. When the world didn't make sense to me, even though this is next to an airport, but when the trees would move, as you can see, it kind of bob to the wind, and every now and then one of the other trees would go like, and then I would hear this soaring sound. And I was 10 years old, and I said, one day I will travel the world. I will be out of here. Not as an escape, but as evolution. I will migrate. And interestingly, not everybody has that access, but I come to the conclusion when people think psychedelic is the way. Not always. It depends what finds you. You might find your revelation in water drops falling down the window or watching a movie. It just happened to be for me when psychedelics came in the woods, not as a party gig, also biodegradable. Over a decade ago, I saw how everything fit like a puzzle piece of your life and the orchestration of the bigger picture. And then when you allow yourself for that purpose to bleed in, it becomes this pull. It pulls you into its direction like a black hole that takes everything in to birth a new universe. Because there's a gate actually, and it's not detrimental. It's supposed to be. It's the void of self for everything that you have created can mean nothing and everything depending on what your level of meaning that you're giving it is given to the situation. So I review the shadow, my shortcomings, the limitations that I thought that I had in life, and I look at limitations that others have, developing compassion, retreating from negative entanglement that is unnecessary by not being ignorant of it. And so I see myself in the subconscious of the woods of the self. In Germany we say aus dem Unterholz. It's kind of like through the woodworks, through the nitty-gritty, to the, you know, the basement levels of the wood of where the original root stems from is birthed. I find myself. So be thankful for everything that you have lived, the place that you come from, limitations you have learned, and be willing to dare. Is something that you want to ask or you feel deep within your heart. Doesn't matter what level it is, and don't fear rejection. Don't penetrate either. Be sensitive and feel when there is a time that this can be released and communicate. And you will find great things, great treasures, Mr. Potter, like in the Harry Potter movie, great things. But the higher the calling, you know, the tougher the tests. But they should cease now. As we see the world is learning, the world banking system is retreating from oil companies, you know, weird factors coming in, as in the good is coming in. Those who run the shadow and cling to the shadow, you will have a struggle, because people will actually, you'll be like marked. If you do not keep your business transparent to a degree and in authenticity and integrity, it'll not be successful. It can't be successful. Also, for what you invest in, I don't care if it's Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, whatever it is, don't be fooled karmically that you can invest 50 cents and turn that into $350 million. Karmically, that is impossible. Unless you're a time traveler and you know what's coming from that time paradox that you're coming from. But other than that, the universe asks us to do the work, to understand what's to be done, of what the calling is. And as I'm saying this, is the trees are really moving here. See this? There's a lot of movement over my head. Sometimes I think I have things following me that are pretty powerful. They're very, very low. And then when I leave this area, this gets quiet and it follows me. So is that for you. It's the current of life, the power of creation that was bestowed upon you to go forward and create in this world like a magi. So the new thing that's going to be released is Magitech. If you want to educate yourself, Chariots of the Gods, Erich von Däniken, highly recommend that. That's the foundation of ancient alien pre-astronaut theory. And why also the gods, so-called gods that left, actually never really left. It's a dimensional thing. So the new book, Why the Gods Have Never Left Us, also highly recommend that. That's the foundation for all this disclosure where everybody is talking. They base it on the Godfather, and that is Erich von Däniken, who came up with the idea in the 60s. 90 million books sold, and the dude was a hotel manager at the time in Switzerland. He didn't even expect all that stuff to come from that. Over, I think, 90 Hollywood movies tapping into the topics that he kind of wrote about. So educate yourself, get into it, study. It will bear fruits. A know-it-all won't go far. Also, make no mistakes, new miraculous technologies coming forth. You will witness a transition in technology, also energy consumption. There will be drastic changes coming in the next 5 to 10 years. Artificial intelligence will actually be created to help us to reflect actually what is, and to look at this. And things will come forward that we have not expected, that will actually take place as, like you can create a super program. At some point the super program will create self-awareness, because it is created to a level of assimilation technique where it'll be spooky, because that's the skill and the magic that you can give life to things. As the gods, they didn't really know why the DNA was, but they knew how to graft genetically, To graft apples genetically is like you just crop one apple with another tree and have the seeds growing, and you have a mixture of two apples. That's called grafting. That doesn't require knowledge. The danger is that you take toys that already been put in place by the architect, put them together, and you don't know the outcome of what that is or will be. And that is to be reflected upon this year. In depth, what are you creating with consciousness? What are you giving life to? What are you giving birth to? Really thoroughly think about what are you involving yourself in. And the greatest thing of all that you have is love. Unconditional love. By that I mean not perverted love, not fashion created love, really pure love. And also online, stay with stuff that is designed for you, not memes or brutality or necessary amplified stuff that's really not helping your development, stuff that helps you reflect. Because science has proven that you scatter all over memes and Facebook with no business coming to you. You scatter your mind, you fragment your soul with images that are actually not in a coherent matter as in phase conjugate. You need something that connects, and reconnect that together. That's for you. So I wish you a very successful and blissful and conscious and in-depth year from the ground up. Again, reevaluate, review, overcome the shadow, behave, be kind, be loving to one another, and most of all, be real. It's not about wearing a robe or a bindi or claiming you're a guru or this or that. We all are coaches. We all teaching each other. Each one teach one. You all are important. And magic is to be tested. Can you make it rain? Can you walk over water? That is to be seen. And until that's developed, you have magic to support you. So I vote for Magitech, Mayatech, a crutch to help you develop your consciousness in this dimension, in this universe. Blissful 2018, my friends. And I love you, of course. More than you know. See you on the flip side. Okay, I am recording now, just so you know. Yeah, the place of birth, planet Earth, my little fangorn forest, where I went as a kid when school was too much, it was overwhelming, and I was like, I need time out. So this is basically from the cold. That's why I'm all dressed up. Yeah, a little forecast. What I wanted to give you is for this year, basically. Yeah, I gotta keep it together because we're in a different density. Very grounding here. Moist and cold grounds you. Remember, water and cooling is grounding. Dry and heat raises the frequency. So, the year 2018 is pay attention to your magic. It'll polarize. You'll see negative things and you see positive things, but right now it's about what are you subscribing to, you know? What's your attention? What do you wish to create? In the woods, that's the resemblance of the underground. The path, you know, it's not always evident until you change angles and you look at things with different perspectives. Then you actually see, where can I go? Where should I go? How should I create? And there's always a solution. Magic was hidden. Now it's coming back, as in manifestation skills, instant processes. You'll also see technologies that will be mind-blowing for some, for the millennials more or less, because they kind of like prepped for what's coming. They'll take it. We have apps, apps that can detect the electromagnetic frequency. We have little detectors where we can measure radio frequency. We have different systems in scanning devices. We can read our brain. We can map our brain scan now with an app. Stuff is like really getting nice these days, and the accessibility to new worlds become much more easier. And see, with the internet, wherever you go, you remain connected. You stay on the grid. We can you can make a right, or we can walk back if you want to. Just talking to my soulmate. You want to walk further in? Okay. Further in, doing our little morning walk. See, me half German, my soulmate half Finnish, so we have a little bit of this here with us. As weird as that is, but it's to advantage to when the races mix. Madame Blavatsky and many others from, if you read ancient Hindu texts and Vedic texts, the races look at us. I'm going to blend. In the future, the term American is going to be a funny term. You won't be able to define what's what anymore, because we're all blending. We're already resembling the seventh root race that's going to go over this earth. America in the future will be very interesting, not for political reasons, for spiritual reasons, when people get into new fields of awakening. This is a little river that I used to play at. Very tiny. And I would run around here as a child to lose myself in my subconscious. I was sent to a school psychiatrist actually because, when school was too loud, I was like, I'm out. They said, you can't do that. You just can't run off out of class and go into the woods. I had the silence, even though you can partially hear the highway, like the in the distance. But I enjoyed this here. This was kind of like my mental preparation stage for, coming into the worlds. Even for 10 years ago, the psychedelic experience made it very evident how I built my life, that there was a divine purpose, and there was something like a bigger picture actually helping me to create this, to go forward. So as you reflect on your entire life right now, like I said, it's time to change opposition, end conflicts, come to terms, redeem yourselves, unify the family. But not only people talk about that you're going to unify the family, but certain people you leave out deliberately. That's not unifying. That's being full of BS. Also metaphysical skills. Using your third eye, meaning you blindfolded you can read. I cannot read. Using your third eye, meaning also that psychically or psychoanalytically you can check and read people. Not everybody is in full capacity to use that or has access. Access in the Akashic records will be complete and accurate to a point where you will, how can I put it? You'll be able to read data like 1816, 1150, 1555, like I said, with Akashic records and skills and stuff and magic, we will see what is to be attained and what people manifest now. As in, what are you building? What are you creating? It's like people that make organize, people that create magical tools. As in, one guy created a electromagnetic harvester that brings actually electricity from the air into your home. We have machines that can clear the fungus out of the air, like will make it on a molecular structure clear. Airborne viruses, we want to make things more clearer. Healing modalities, all the new and good stuff will be created and more to come.